Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the His and Her Rewatch podcast, where we watch movies that he likes.
And watch movies that she likes.
I'm the His, Caleb, and with me, as always, my supportive wife, the Her, Megan. Megan, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Welcome back to the kitchen table
Yeah.
on a nice evening here. Kids are in bed, ready to podcast.
Yeah, we're back to our normal podcasting time and the evening.
The evening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which
That's
I feel like I like the evenings better.
You like it? Okay.
I don't know why. I just do. I don't have any reasoning why.
Yeah. Oh, I feel like I was more comfortable talking out loud when it was in the morning than now, I think, with the kids, even though they're way far away from us and have never heard us doing anything. And with the TV up loud, sometimes they never hear us. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
I get that. Yeah, when they were at school, it's a little bit easier to talk louder, but I don't really follow that rule.
No, you're just loud anyway.
I know we were trying to figure out the whole microphone thing because I'm just naturally a louder person.
You project.
I project. Thank you. I do take offense when people call me loud, just because I've always been called that my whole life. So it's a sensitive subject. So yes, thank you. I project, which is a great trait, and I project. So I'm not even normal tone, and you're quiet tone.
I'm very quiet.
Yeah.
I've actually gotten louder since we've had kids, I think.
I think since you've known me.
Right,
I think I've gotten quieter and you've gotten louder.
Well, I have to get louder because to get in with our kids or you or
Yeah,
get a
'cause
word in,
they're all loud.
everyone's loud around me. But
We're working it out. All that
we'll
to say,
figure it
we're
out.
working it out.
Yeah, we're working it out. Yeah, I'm trying to get my microphone closer to me and so I can hear me better. And you just sit back and talk normal and you're picked up well on the microphone. So
Yeah.
it's my problem
No.
more than yours. It's a me problem. But I think editing, I think if I do editing correctly, it will be better.
Yeah.
But anyways, so thanks for being here. Thanks for everybody for supporting the podcast and listening, and we love it. I hope everybody is following us on all our socials on Facebook and Instagram. And what were those handles?
Yeah. So I'm going to make sure I say them correctly this time. Which I probably won't. But it's His and Her Rewatch, at His and Her Rewatch on Instagram. And that's the A-N-D, His and Her Rewatch. And then on Facebook is His and Her Rewatch, but with the, what do you call it?
The and sign.
The and symbol. I'm not sure what it's called.
It's Shift 7 on the keyboard.
There you go. And yeah, we also are on Spotify.
Yeah, we're on.
And what was the other ones?
I got Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. So if you like, I know you're probably listening to one of us to this episode on one of those places. But if you feel more comfortable being on another one,
we're over there too.
Yeah, we're over there too. So
yeah, I'm an Apple Podcast girl. I like listening to my Apple Podcasts, but I know you've listened to some on Spotify, right?
Yeah, I've listened to Spotify if I'm at work. If I want to listen to one, Apple Podcast is where I listen to most of mine, and that's where we get most of our downloads is from Apple Podcast. And
yeah, I'm strictly like Apple Podcast and Spotify Music.
But there's a lot of people that don't have Apple phones. I don't know if you can even download the app. I don't know. So that's why they have the other apps. So we try to accommodate for everybody.
Yeah. I guess, is there one for Google?
There is. I have not been able to figure out how to get that on there yet. There's something about not recognizing the email that's attached to it or something. So I was having problems.
A Gmail.
Yeah, I'm logged in the same thing and everything. I haven't figured it out.
Google's so complicated. It's the same thing with like Google Chrome. My computer hates Google Chrome, obviously because I have an Apple computer, and so. But there's certain things that you have to do through Google. Like I do Google Meet for a lot of my business, and if I do it on Safari, it will crash multiple times. But if I do it on Google Chrome, it works beautifully. So I feel like they're
not compatible. Yeah,
they're not compatible for a reason.
These big tech companies, they're not going to play nice if they don't have to.
Yeah,
they're going to give you their codes and stuff to make things work. And I've listened to IT people talk about that kind of stuff all the time at work and different things. So
Yeah.
So
But
it's not
anyways,
fun.
we got really off topic.
That is really off topic.
I'm sorry.
We're here to talk about movies and stuff we watch. I do want to go real quick, and I teased this for several episodes that I want to give a shout out or read the reviews that we've gotten. So we've got currently at the time of this recording, we have 2 Apple reviews. So this one comes from Tim Riley 2525. He says, I really enjoyed listening to His and Her Rewatch. Fun experience, and it was enjoyable listening to Caleb and Megan. Well, thank you very much, Tim Riley 2525. We appreciate the review. And then another one is from Nerd Girl 25. Another 25. Okay. Nerd Girl 25.
Oh, they're both 25?
They have 25 in there.
That's so weird.
So she says, this is such a great idea. Love it. Can't wait to listen to the next podcast. So hopefully she is listening and enjoying our podcast, all these episodes. So right now, this is the 5th episode.
Yes.
5th episode. It's the third His episode. Last one we just, one that would have come out last week would have been Clueless. So I really enjoyed that one. I think that was a great conversation. I really enjoyed the Clueless one.
I think a lot of it was because we had such different opinions.
Yeah. I had a lot to say. I like that one. That was a good one.
I can say I was definitely offended in the end. I don't know if that came across, but I was.
Yeah, we won't get back into it.
We're still married. We're still doing the podcast, apparently, obviously.
Yeah. So our the one we're talking about today is the 2000 movie Gladiator.
For the best. Win the crown. You'll win your freedom. Are you not entertained?
Today I saw a slave become more powerful than the Emperor of Rome.
I will give them something they've never seen before. Am I not merciful?
Now, we hadn't talked about this one at all. We had to watch it over 2 nights.
Yeah,
because
it's a long movie.
it's a 2.5-hour movie, and we can't start until the kids are in bed, especially a movie like Gladiator. We can't start. So we had to make sure they were in bed and settled and before we started watching it, and then it
was also weeknight.
It's a weeknight.
Yeah.
We started on a weeknight, and so we got to finish it the next day, and then we were able to take some notes and get ready. We got through it, and we didn't get to talk about it. Or we decided not to talk about it.
Well,
I tried to get something out of you to see if you had a thumbs up or thumbs down, just something, but you were pretty tight-lipped on that one. So
yep. I think it's better to do it on the podcast, to hash it out.
Yeah, I do. I like it. Although I do want to.
Which we were very chatty in the movie.
Yeah.
Than other movies. I don't know. Clueless, of course, we were just chuckling and laughing.
We were kind of chatty. Yeah, a little bit.
I'm a very vocal movie watcher.
Yeah.
not in the movie theater. Now I know when to speak and when not to speak. Which I think now that I think about it, I think I'm the reason why our kids are so chatty during movies sometimes.
Yeah, you probably don't help.
But I don't it was a suspenseful part.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just start talking. I usually will wait till that was over or whatever. But no, our youngest and our middle son.
Yeah, Reed is like, no. Well,
no, but then he'll be like, why are they doing that? Why is that happening? I don't know. We haven't seen it before.
Watch the rest of the movie and you'll find out.
But he's so into it and disturbed by whatever it was.
If somebody's doing something that he really doesn't agree with or doesn't like, he's like, no. Or I can't believe
he really doesn't like scary stuff or any kind of jump scares. He hates
or
those.
cringy stuff. Or it's not like scary or just like somebody's doing something cringy. Like it's like we watched a movie the other night. It was the teenagers. And it was a very Nickelodeon movie, I think it was, but it was very cringy, what was going on with interactions between some of them. He was just like, oh no, and so it's jumping up and down, just didn't like it. So it's just cringy, and that was the whole point of it, was to be cringy, and so he gets kind of into it.
Yeah, we really get into our movies every day.
But so this was a real historic, epic movie. And I don't think you're really into these historical epics, adventures.
No, I mean, I do. I know we talked about this right before we even watched it. I said I was nervous about doing this on the podcast because, it is historical. It's not, I mean, I'm assuming it's semi-fiction.
Well, yeah, we'll get into a lot of that. Was Maximus, he's a fictional character, but
right.
The other characters, some of the other characters, main characters, are real characters that they pulled, and similarities to the things that happen in history. But
I mean, like, and I know some of them, like, but I never took a Greek.
This is Roman.
Like, yeah, Roman. I'm sorry.
This is Roman.
Cut that out for me, please.
This is not Greek mythology.
You better not leave it in. Actually, I did take a Greek mythology course in college, but no, I did not take a Roman historical class. You know, so if anything, if I learned anything, it was with other history, and so I think sometimes that just gets jumbled together. But once you tell me, like, I remember in the beginning, because I think I've missed part of the reading part, but I was like, what year is this in again?
Right.
What year does this take place again? Because it helps me with my brain to, like, okay, now I know where we are. This is what we're doing. But yeah, I was worried about it because I didn't want to come off as stupid.
Right.
Because I don't know history at all.
And that was what was good about this movie, that it's...
But I still enjoy it.
You don't have to know history.
Right,
and that's what I liked about it, because... And that's probably why it was so popular and well received, because you don't have to know who these characters are, if they're real or not, even if they pulled from real history or not. But it's like, I mean, it's pretty straightforward plot line and stuff. So
it keeps you in the movie. Like, it keeps you going. It keeps you interested. Because there are certain, I mean, I wouldn't say any really, like, big movie, like historical movie, like The Patriot, like those kind of movies, they're all good. Like Saving Private Ryan, we talked about that.
Right.
Like, those are all great movies, but they are based on historical facts.
Right. And that's what those...
And those are entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, they make them entertaining because they put these storylines in them, like you said, and it makes it more entertaining, but you're also learning at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know these historical epic movies are, I mean, they were real popular, like back in, like, I guess the 60s and 50s and stuff, and like with the Ten Commandments and Spartacus and stuff. And then it really took a dive in that genre, and it seemed like, and I might not be a good enough movie buff to really understand it, but it seemed like it took a big jump in like the 90s, and we still are getting like really good ones from different eras and stuff. So I mean, the 90s brought some really good ones, like you said, Saving Private Ryan, The Patriot, Braveheart, even like Dances with Wolves, Titanic is even one, even like Les Miserables. I mean, it's a historical epic musical. So but I think those are really, I mean, they're real big. I mean, right now they're like they just make real big blockbusters is what they end up being. But just the scale of these movies, which makes it an epic, you know, the costuming and the size, the cast. And I mean, I know a lot of people that really love those movies. And even I talked to a buddy of mine, told him we were doing this movie. He said he really loved Gladiator and these historical epics and stuff. So,
and now you've seen this movie before, right?
Now this movie I had seen, I've seen it before. It's been a long time. And I was thinking about that. Like, I remember seeing it for the first time when I think it was after prom, 2001. I think we went, me and a buddy of mine, and we had some dates that were just friends of ours, and we just went back to our friend's house and just watched. Well, I remember watching Gladiator that night.
How romantic!
It was like I said, we were their friends. It wasn't a romantic. It wasn't a romantic situation.
Apparently,
Right.
If they had any kind of desire, it was definitely kills in that. In that part.
Yeah, so I remember watching it then, and I've seen it since then, but I was thinking back, I don't remember this movie coming out on TV very much. Like, it just doesn't come on. And I don't know if it's because, I mean, it's a rated R movie, and you got to cut out a lot of the good parts, or at least the action that make it, you know, people want to watch.
Or make sense.
And so you got to cut around a lot of that, which is probably really hard. And plus, it's a long movie. So I don't know why it doesn't come on, you know, TV like that. But
I think you just put it out there. That's probably why.
I mean, those are what I was trying to think about why. But if you do want to watch it, it is on Amazon Prime. That's where we end up watching it. So if you want to watch it on Amazon Prime,
Yeah, free on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, if you're
If
subscribed.
you have an Amazon Prime
Right, if you pay
subscription,
for the subscription.
Well, because the other ones were on Amazon Prime, but we had to pay for.
We
the
did have to
rental.
rent.
Yeah.
What? Well, we had to rent GoldenEye
And Pretty Woman.
and Pretty Woman.
Yeah.
Clueless was on. Yeah, we were on subscription on that one.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is. We'll get into some of it here.
Well, I've never seen the movie.
Oh yeah, sorry. Sorry, you set me up, and I was.
That's all right.
I was set you up. And
I'll just speak for myself.
Go
It's okay,
ahead.
I'm
When
used
did you
to it.
see? You had never seen.
I
This
have
before.
never seen this movie. Never.
Maybe pieces of it. Have you seen clips of it?
Well, I thought I did, but every time I kept watching it, I don't think I've ever seen this. Like, I feel like maybe this is another Russell Crowe movie out there, or someone who looks like Russell Crowe, but I feel like I swear I saw either clips or pictures of him with the gold rosary on his head. Is that from a different movie? Or am I completely thinking of somebody else, or just made that up?
Well, I don't.
I meant to ask you about that after the movie was over.
I don't know. I can look at his IMDb, but I know he's done some historical movies, but I don't think it's been like Roman times or.
I don't know why. I just thought that he was a. Maybe I'm thinking of him in. Wasn't he in? Oh, I know what it was. He was in Gladiator. I mean, not Gladiator. Yeah, he was in Gladiator.
Yes, he was.
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. Wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
That's what I'm thinking of.
No, he was in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes.
And he was Zeus.
Yes, that's what I'm
Okay.
remembering now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So he was. Well, no, I guess that's still not Roman. That's Greek.
That is Greek mythology, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I knew there was some kind of. I knew I had like a flash of something in my head, and that's what I kept thinking was like, oh, he's gonna become the emperor and everything. And spoiler.
yeah, so that was not Gladiator.
Got it.
So you never seen Gladiator? Okay.
No, I have never
So
seen
I'm
Gladiator.
really
Never even anything close. I know why I would have never watched it.
Right. Yeah, this is not looking at the movies you picking out and stuff. This is. I can see why this is not on top of your list of movies to watch. But I'm glad you got to watch it.
I am too.
I'm glad. I mean, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll get into see how much you enjoyed it. So we'll go over through some of the facts like we always do. And then we'll talk about some of the actors. And like I said, movie was released on May 5th of 2000. This movie received lots of Academy Awards, lots of other awards and stuff we don't get into. But I do want to talk about the Oscars they won and got nominated for. I think it was pretty interesting. Maybe I'll try to go through these quick in case people find this uninteresting, but it got nominated for 12 Oscars. It won 5, and it won Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role, Russell Crowe, Best Costume Design, Best Sound, and Best Effects and Visual Effects.
I could totally see that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And nominations that they didn't receive, but they got nominated were Joaquin Phoenix for Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Best Director Ridley Scott, Best Writing Screenplay written directly for the screen, Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Music Original Score, and Best Art Direction and Set Decoration. That covered a lot of ground right there, didn't it? That's a lot of nominations, a lot of winners. So hopefully we do a good job breaking this down a little bit and talking about it, because this is a very big and important movie. Our first, Oscar winning picture that we're got to watch and review. So,
well, we definitely won't be able to hit all of everything, or we would have a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah, definitely. We'll try to hit the highlights and stuff. Director Ridley Scott. Do you know Ridley Scott at all?
Nope, I never heard of him.
Never heard of him. I'm gonna throw
Not
out some.
surprising.
I'm gonna throw out some movies that he's done, and tell you if you have heard of these movies. Okay.
Okay.
Alien.
Yes, never seen it.
Yeah, that was
Don't want to.
1979. He was new to directing. When I think he did like one other film before Alien, and that did a lot better than expected. He did Blade Runner, Thelma and Louise, G.I. Jane, Hannibal, Black Hawk Down, Robin Hood. He did The Martian. Some big movies and stuff he's done. You heard a lot of those?
I've heard of a lot of them. I've only seen The Martian.
Only seen The Martian. Yeah. Like Hannibal's not one we've seen. I remember seeing G.I. Jane. He was nominated for Best Director for Thelma and Louise, Gladiator, and Black Hawk Down.
I think I've seen Black Hawk Down too.
Yeah.
I think we saw that.
I've seen that one probably once. That's one. It's like that's a really good movie. That's one of those. It's just hard. It's hard to watch over and over again.
Yeah.
For me, but Ridley Scott he's been around the film industry for a long time. He's got a big name. So then we got our leading role. Or we'll talk about the main cast. The amazing Russell Crowe as Maximus.
My name is Gladiator.
He has such a presence on the screen.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
undeniable.
In anything he does, yeah.
Yeah.
He's one on here for obviously best acting. He's a lead role, so he's definitely in there for best acting.
Yeah, like it's undeniable. Like his on-screen presence, the way it's so believable, the way he talks and carries himself, and the people follow him. And in the movie, I mean, he just has like it's just so believable, and his voice has that deeper voice. It's like when he talks, you want to listen, and so that what makes him such a good actor and a good Anyway, go ahead.
I feel like this is who he is in real life.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just
we're
feel
like killing people and
no, not killing people.
Sorry,
just
I misunderstood.
No, I mean I wouldn't put it past him. No, but I think the way he has the presence, just that presence that everybody wants to pay attention to him, and he also has that kindness. Like there's even a quote from the movie where he's not a man of the people, he's a man for the people.
Right.
And I think that is who he really is in real life.
Well, that's what it came across that way. It was.
I could be totally wrong. He could be a douchebag, but
right.
From what I have heard from just tabloids and from other people working with him, it kind of seems that way. Because there's other stars out there who don't have that same vibe, and so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying he was typecasted. Obviously, he wasn't. No. He's definitely an actor, and he definitely acted. Not like he definitely acted. Just being himself.
Definitely has that on-screen presence that I'm sure a lot of people are looking for. And that's what I found out. It was interesting because he's from New Zealand, and he got into film in Australia. He got noticed from American filmmakers when he did a role, an Australian film called Romper Stomper. No idea. That was
I actually did know he was Australian or New Zealand. Yeah.
New Zealand. Yeah. And that was in 1992 when he did that movie. And then Sharon Stone made notice, and she wanted him to play in her film with her, The Quick and the Dead in 1995. So that was his first American role. Was in 1995.
What was his first big hit?
Well,
was it this Gladiator?
Well, no, he did. He did The Quick and the Dead, which
I've never heard of. So
yeah, that one had some good.
That doesn't mean it's not popular. I just never heard of it.
Yeah, I remember that. I vaguely remember that movie if I've seen it. I looked up. I was just gonna look up the some of the names in it because it had some good names in it. It had Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, Leonardo DiCaprio's in it. Like I said, that was his first movie in America. Russell Crowe, he did L.A. Confidential, which was the big popular one in 1997, and then around the time that he did A Beautiful Mind.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
He was real. He did 3:10 to Yuma. He did Robin Hood. Like I said, Ridley Scott did that one. He did Les Miserables.
He did that before Gladiator?
No, he did Les Miserables in 2012. Yeah.
Okay, that's what
so
I thought.
A Beautiful Mind came out right after Gladiator and stuff. So
Gladiator was kind of his.
So he was still had that presence. I also really enjoyed him in Man of Steel when he was Jor-El.
Oh, yeah, and I always forget that he's in that, which I always think is such a commendable compliment to somebody when you forget that they were in that role, because that means they became the character.
They were that character, right?
Were the actor, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he's like, and then he did the one, Thor: Love and Thunder, which is totally out of character for him. He was from playing like Jor-El, a very serious, father figure of Superman, and and then he goes and plays in another superhero franchise to Thor: Love and Thunder, and he's just a big goofball.
Yeah,
and it's totally out of character. It was funny. But he had like this weird accent that a lot of people online tore up.
Oh, I thought it was
Ripped
funny.
it, but yeah, you can like it or hate it.
Well, my other best favorite actor or best actor,
Best
my
actor.
other best, my other favorite actor in this
Uh-huh.
movie was Oliver Reed.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He was one of, I put Russell Crowe and Oliver Reed. They were to me the standouts, even though, what was his character's name? Gracchus?
His was Antonius Proximo.
That's right.
Proximo.
Yep.
Go and die with honor!
So even though Proximo was not, in this movie quite a lot, I just felt like he just stood out because in the beginning you kind of got this like vibe that he was going to be, just not this good guy. He was just kind of rough
He wasn't
around
really
the edges.
a good. Really wasn't a good guy. I think that was he had a really nice character arc
Yes.
through it. 'Cause
Yes.
he,
Yes.
You know,
I
he
agree.
went from, like you said, being he was out for just to make money. He didn't care about this guy's lives. He was a slave trader, and he was all about making money and entertainment. And then, like you said, he goes there and he changes his mind, and they even make a comment. Maximus even makes a comment. He said, "Are you? What did he say? Something. Are you turning into a good guy or some whatever?"
I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was toward the end when he was making those decisions about how to change the political stance over there.
Right,
So,
yeah.
So
No,
but-
I thought he was a good actor in that. Never heard of him before, never seen him, which I know you told me that he actually passed away during the filming of this movie.
he did.
That is so sad.
Yeah, they had apparently 3 weeks of filming left to do, and
Because I saw this movie came out in 2000.
Yeah.
Well, when I clicked on his bio, it said he died in 1999.
yeah.
And I was like, wait, wait a second. He was in this movie.
Yeah, he died. And it's really weird. And what I read on it was because now he wasn't supposed to die in the movie because he was supposed to make it to the end. And he was actually the one that was supposed to bury the figures in the Colosseum
Right.
that his friend, what's his name? Juba, buried in the Colosseum. So they actually killed him. They actually killed him off. They had to rewrite it a little bit so he would die. And
It still kind of made sense, though.
and most of these films they film based on location. They'll do all this stuff in one location. They'll film all that and they'll move. In this movie, they did it chronologically in the movie. And I guess that's what helped this
Kinda
movie
worked
out.
out for
I guess
him,
it
yeah.
must have because,
That's
and
so
like I said, that's
sad.
not really usually what happens. So they did have to use a body double and create some CGI to be able to get a few more scenes in. I read that there's actually in their contract, if something were to happen to an actor, and some of these big characters especially, that if something were to happen to him during filming, they have insurance policies out on them for like $25 million to be able to reshoot these scenes. But
Wow.
they didn't want, Ridley Scott did not want to reshoot all these scenes. For starters, that the cast was, the crew and stuff was like just beat. I mean, I could imagine how this movie would have been. The crew would have had to done like day in
Well,
and
he
day
was
out.
so
on
great in
this.
this movie too. So
Yeah.
it's like this part was perfect for him.
Yeah.
And for if they had to, which I mean, I don't know what they redid or what they didn't redo, but if it was a majority of the movie was already filmed and he was in it, like that would be,
Yeah.
pretty terrible.
Well, I mean, it depends on what you have left to do and if you can make it work. I mean, with the computer, the way the computer graphics can do, they can just create somebody. They do it all the time. They
I
just
know.
remake characters that have been dead for years.
Scary.
I know. Like AI, everything. All these movies are AI. There are no actors anymore. But
So was your best actor or favorite actor
definitely
different than mine?
No, it was definitely Russell
Obviously
Crowe.
Russell Crowe,
Russell
yeah.
Crowe, and yeah, Russell Crowe was just. That hands down was the best.
I mean, he won an award.
He won an award.
So do we have to say anything else?
Yeah. I really I can see why Joaquin Phoenix got a nomination for Best Supporting Actor. I mean, I know that his character in this movie was so cringy.
Yeah, can we talk about worst character in this movie?
Well, he's supposed to be.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so hard. That's why we had to change it because I feel like it's such great acting is because we hated him.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the point.
It
That's what
was.
he wanted to be,
Right.
you know? And I told you this while we were watching the movie too, is like, you know, Joaquin Phoenix is not my favorite actor, but I think a lot of that has to do with the parts that he plays. You know, like he was the Joker, and I can't think of any other movie he was in, but
Well, he was in Signs. Have you ever watched Signs?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Isn't that with
Have the crop circles and stuff at the time in the farm.
yeah, who's that big actor? Is that Mel Gibson?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mel Gibson
it
was
was
in
Mel
that.
Gibson.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in that.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
he's a
Joaquin
very
Phoenix.
recognizable guy, you know,
Yeah.
but no, I think he's a fantastic actor, and I think that's why you dislike him so much, because he did such a great job. So that's why we couldn't do like worst actor, but worst character for sure. But I think that, I mean, it was a point. It was a point. It made you love Maximus even more.
Yeah. And that's what another, like we talk about the plot of this was like, it was straightforward. It was, you knew from the very beginning who the good
for
guy was
sure.
and who the good guy and who the bad guy was, because
for sure.
there was no like plot twists or anything as far as that goes. It was pretty straightforward. But I liked his performance.
Yeah.
As cringy as it was, as awkward as he made a lot of those moments, those intimate moments were just so awkward.
I
And
know.
like, and you're like, man, this guy is so bad and so weird and
Sick.
and you just want him to die. You want Maximus to succeed in his.
All right, we talk about.
And then I
Sorry, go
liked,
ahead.
and the other guy I really liked, and we've seen him a couple of times in some other movies, was Jumon Hansu.
Who was that?
Hansu. Yeah, that was Juba. That was
okay.
his friend that he met in the
Yeah, he was
ring.
really good too.
Yeah, I really liked them together. And it was a believable friendship and kingship together, trusting each other and stuff through that. I liked him in other stuff he's been in. He was in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's right. Yeah.
And the other one, Captain Marvel. He was the same character in Captain Marvel. He was also the Wizard in Shazam.
Oh yeah. I could see that.
And then he was really well known in the movie In America and Blood Diamond. He actually got nominated for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for those movies. I never saw Blood Diamond. That was not seemed like a movie that I would enjoy. That was pretty intense.
Don't know anything about it.
No. But yeah, I really like him.
So can we talk about the different scenes?
Yeah, okay.
Because there are so many standout scenes, and I don't even know, like some of them aren't even just scenes, or just like good nuggets, I feel like. So I wrote down quite a few, but now that I'm thinking about it, and I wrote down these are scenes that stood out, obviously not good or bad. So just scenes that stuck with me, you know, after I watched the movie. That's kind of how I measure it by. And I'll go in chronological order from the movie.
That's fair enough.
So I mean, I feel like the really great scene was in the beginning when obviously when he's talking to the soldiers and he's giving them the pep talk. I mean, talking about pep talk of all pep talks, like great quotes from that. And then even when he's talking to the,
What did he say? What can we do the quote?
Sure.
Can I do the quote? He goes, he's talking about when he's addressing the cavalry on the horse.
That's what I was going to say that too. Well,
Yeah.
the men on the ground and then also the cavalry afterwards. Yeah.
He's talking to his soldiers, and and then right before he leaves to go get on the horse to go to the cavalry, he goes, strength and honor, and everybody goes, strength and honor. That was really cool. I was like, whoa, that seemed very powerful.
That
and
scene
I think that line was ad-lib by Russell Crowe.
Not surprising.
So.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
But that was, and then they brought it back in later on in the movie when he's toward the end when he's with his other. It was when he was breaking out of the.
I don't remember.
But
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then all the guys are gonna.
I thought they said strength and numbers.
No, it's strength and honor.
Oh, well, my bad. I thought he said strength and numbers, which also that's true too.
But yeah, when he goes and dresses the cavalry, he goes.
3 weeks from now, I will be harvesting my crops. Imagine where you will be, and it will be so. Hold the line. Stay with me. If you find yourself alone, riding in green fields with the sun on your face, do not be troubled. or you are in Elysium, and you're already dead! Brothers, what we do in life echoes in eternity.
But yeah, just like I was saying, like anytime he talks, and it's so believable, it's just a presence, and you're listening, you're paying attention to what he's saying, and so he did the same thing. Is that what?
Yeah, I think that scene just really set the whole movie, and like you knew who he was and that he was a respected man. You know, people respected him, and you could even, you know, as the scene kept going on, you know, the emperor was really, you know, respected him, and you know, even when
Wished he was his son.
Yep, even when his son came in, and which I thought of, like the way he comes in and he was like, "Oh, did I miss it? Did I miss the war?
No, he goes,
did I miss the battle?"
He says, "You missed the war."
Yeah, you missed the whole thing, buddy.
Oh darn!
I know.
That's what I wanted.
I know.
Have I missed it? Have I missed the battle?
You have missed the war.
And then he was, you know, can I sacrifice? Can I give you a bull or something?
Yeah, 1,000 bulls.
1,000 bulls.
bulls.
And he was like, "No, you can thank this guy over here who just won it for you."
Yeah.
You know, and at that same moment, like Joaquin Phoenix did a great job of just setting up. Like we even said it, like, "Oh, we see where this is going."
Yeah, we can see where it's going.
Like, I mean, he literally didn't say a thing.
It was
but
the
the look. Yeah, the look in his eye was like, "Oh, I don't like this guy," which we obviously found out later on that there was history there.
Yeah.
So I think this was an ongoing thing with their family, or with him and the family, and that they just didn't get along because he was, you know, he was the star. And, Commodus, he was wanting to be the star. He was wanting to be the apple of his father's eye, but it was just not in him to be that. You know, he was a coward in a sense. But yeah, and then that also brings me to my next favorite scene, which was when Marcus Aurelius with Maximus in the tent. There was multiple parts in that, but I really liked
Maximus Aurelius. That's the father.
Yeah.
Talking about, yeah, just for the people that need to be.
Oh yeah. That's
the
that's Caesar the first, or the Caesar that was
the
alive.
emperor. Yeah.
Yeah, the father of the
Commodus.
Of Commodus.
Right.
Yeah. And when they were in the tent and he was talking to him about just how great he was, and I wanted him to be the next person in charge, and again, like he loved him like he was his son. He wished he was his son. I think that was even part of that line. But yeah, I just thought that was another great setup, and I love the little line at the end of that scene where he's like, "Can you fetch an old man a blanket?" Just keeping it super basic.
Right. And I really like that opening battle. Like that was really
Bloody.
Well, it was really bloody, but it was visually it was really cool the way they set that up, and then the exploding cannonball or
Oh yeah, those
catapults.
Yeah,
the catapults were exploding in the trees.
flaming balls.
And it was really good way to set a tone for it. I really like the whole thing. And like you said, when they go back to the tents and they're talking, a lot of those conversations were really good conversations, and really did a great job setting up, because even Maximus kept referring back to a lot of those conversations throughout the movie. And then, you know, you get the moments like you're talking about with Joaquin Phoenix and Maximus, you know, after not Joaquin Phoenix, but Commodus and Maximus, you know, after he kills his father, which was terrible.
Great scene though.
Yeah.
My God.
And the whole thing. And then, you know, he's laying in bed right there, just died. Maximus just finds out. And then he says,
It's already taken over.
he's already like, he knows that he needs him on his side. He needs Maximus.
Well, he already tried.
Because he
Remember, he already
controls-
tried to
because-
get him on his side. Whenever he was asking him about the senators and how, you know,
Right.
I'll call on you, and then he, you know, Maximus kind of was just like, "Yeah, I'll be at home."
Yeah, I'm not doing that. But then he goes, you know, extend. He said, extend. I only extend my hand once, and then he just walks right
Snubs
past him.
him.
Just
Yeah, I
walks
know.
right past him. He's like, no,
Well, that's
I
what got him
know.
killed, or tried to kill him.
Right, and he knew that he commanded the army. All he did was say, "We're taking over," and he could have done it. That's how much they just love Maximus.
Well, I think he was looking for any reason to just murder him, anyways, and
Well, if he knew wasn't going to be on his side, he had to take him out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
which is just baffling to me that is, he could just say, "I want you killed," for no reason at all. There's no laws.
But like everyone just like, and then everybody else just flips it. They don't, and I guess
because they're serving the emperor.
Yeah,
they're serving Rome. It's not about who the person is. It's what the person is.
Right, and they're in power and in a position. They're in a position of power, so they want to preserve their place. So they just follow the rules.
It's so hard to think about that in our time because like,
well, there's lots of stuff that
obviously, but I'm just saying, like, just these people in this. But I mean, that was historical. They were following whoever was in charge.
Yeah. Whether
it was a jerk or a great person, it was whoever was emperor. That's who it was. Whether they voted on him or not, because it wasn't voted, it was passed down. Which I didn't realize that they didn't pass it down to the blood. I didn't realize he could give him that. That was his wish, was for it to go to Maximus. I don't think we covered that, but yeah, that was Marcus Aurelius's wish, was for it the emperorism, I guess you'd call that, to be passed down to Maximus, even though he wasn't.
But he wanted to give it back to the people.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Instead of being like a emperor, like a dictatorship or any kind of royalty. They want to be more back to the people and have like the politicians and stuff like that. It was a little bit political. They touch on a little bit, but you don't have to get too much involved in it to really enjoy the movie.
Right.
But yeah, like you said, it that was his wishes, his dying wishes. And, he probably would have been able to set a lot more things up if he wouldn't have, Commodus hadn't killed him. He would have got those points across before then, but
right. Which obviously, he doesn't die. He ends up overcoming the soldiers who were trying to kill him, which is crazy.
The frost. Sometimes it makes the blade stick.
Yeah, he's so cool.
I know. He's like completely outnumbered with his hands tied behind his back and just completely slaughters everyone there. And apparently, Commodus thought he was dead. Don't know why or how he thought that, because no one even made it back. Like, no one made it back.
Well, they probably scared for their life that they failed their missions, or whoever's in charge of sending them out.
Yeah,
failed.
just said, "Oh, they died." Oh, no one came back. Oh, okay, he just died. And so is everyone else, apparently.
Well, I guess he's missing for so long, and I guess he doesn't come back. And they know they killed his family.
Yeah, or maybe they thought something else killed him. You never know in those times. Anything can really get you at that time.
At this point, it was. I guess that was for the plot of the story. That was what needed to be done.
Of that. Yeah, no, he thought he was dead. Which brings me to another outstanding scene, which was not a good scene, but it definitely left a impression on me, which was when his family was murdered, which I'm so thankful they did not show that. Yeah,
that was... You wanted me to turn it off.
Yeah, I was like, no, they are not about to just murder his family. And I'm like, I'm not watching it. I am not watching it anymore. I said, turn it off. I ain't watching it. And I mean, and then...
Like you said, good thing they didn't show a lot of it. They saw him coming and they left. You could see their feet, and you knew what happened, and then
awful. And then you find out later on even more details about it when Commodus is telling him at the end of the movie.
Or if he's just telling them that, or if it's true or not. But
I don't know. Probably is true.
Probably.
It's just really, really sad. But I would say this would be my second favorite scene. Again, like I said, there were quite a few that I really had good standouts. Yeah, but was the first time. So Maximus ends up being picked up by a slave trader. He ends up becoming a slave, and then he ends up becoming a gladiator. So the first battle, he meets his partner who he's chained to, which I think is so ridiculous.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
And they end up teaming together. But my favorite scene was after that. And I can't remember if they were in the big Colosseum or not, but it was whenever they had those chariots and they were riding around.
Oh, the chariot one.
Yeah, the chariot one.
Yes.
That was the Colosseum.
That was their first battle in the Colosseum.
Okay, that's what I thought. So that chariot scene, and then when they all banded together to defeat the chariots,
That was
the
my
one where you
standout
saw
scene.
that was the one where you saw him as the general.
His leadership.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And everyone was just like,
He had
everyone except for that big guy was not really, he was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. And then I was like, he's gonna get killed. He's gonna get killed. And then, Maximus ends up saving his life. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, okay, this guy's all right.
Right. I mean, that was my standout scene too. Especially the action scene, that whole sequence, like you're talking about, like from when he like gives them their speech about working together, the only chance, he's like, whatever comes out of those doors, we stick together, and that's the only way to survive.
Anyone here been in the army?
Yes. I served with you at Vindavara.
You can help me. Whatever comes out of these gates, we've got a better chance of survival if we work together. Do you understand? If we stay together, we survive.
The way that was shot and done was really cool.
It was really cool, especially for being 2000. Like, you don't think about it because we grew up then, but that was 23 years ago. Like, I don't know what the technology was then, but obviously it was okay. It was pretty good. There were a couple of parts that I was like, now I see the 2000 movie. But like, this was great. I thought like the cinematography was great. There was nothing wrong with anything they did. I mean, there may have been some technical things, but as a viewer, I don't notice that kind of stuff. But no, I thought that the way it was filmed and the special effects, and it was very smart the way they did it. The way they set up each shot. And it was really attention grabbing too. Like it kept wanting you more and more and more.
Like even even though it was very brutal, and I know you do not like brutal movies.
It wasn't too bloody. It wasn't as bloody as the first scene. That was probably the worst part.
Which one?
The fight scene of the war.
Oh, the war part of the battle, right? That was So, but that
there were a couple of heads being chopped off.
Yeah, there was some moments like one of them got cut straight in half.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Through the chariot thing.
Yeah.
And, that was my favorite action scene.
Yeah.
And then immediately after that
that was my favorite part, which obviously is still part of that scene. But yeah, my favorite part is when Maximus reveals himself to the Emperor, and just the look on his face. I was like, woo! And then I can't remember what the line he said, but you can put it in here somewhere. Was just something about do you have that quote? I didn't write it down.
He wrote when he takes his helmet off. You're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he goes.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
Yes.
I mean, he's standing right there in front of Commodus and was like daring him to do something, and like.
Well, and Lucius was right there too.
Yeah.
That was the other thing.
Well, he was about to do something then.
Yeah,
and then
that's
Lucius
right.
turned
He
around the
picked
corner.
up
He
that
turned the arrow.
yeah.
He was, and so I was, and then at that point, he had the guys after he led them through that gladiator moment with the battle of the chariots, and then hearing who he actually was. And
a general, yeah.
A general
that won that war.
The whole point of him doing what he's doing, they had his back for sure at that point. And so,
which was nice to know that they had his back before then as well.
Some of them did, but like you said, they were all bought in after that.
Right, but I think they saw his character and how that was what drew them into him, not his title. You know what I mean? Like I think that was what I thought was really cool.
Oh, right, correct.
Yeah, so once they saw his title, then yes, they were like, oh, okay.
It makes more sense now.
Yeah, I get it. I was about to say, if he's not a general, he should be.
Definitely a leader.
I know, right?
I do want to say that there's a lot of, big moments like we're talking about the arena battles and the battle in the field, and there's a lot of stuff, but there are a lot of real close, intimate moments in here, and like Joaquin Phoenix is, Commodus, and he have those very close moments, and they're very, like I said, I just keep thinking cringy. He's very, you see a lot of his character, of who he is in these smaller moments. But then you also have, I really like that moment where Maximus is on that roof I forget the name of that, but then before they went to the Colosseum, he's on the roof with Juba.
His friend, yeah.
Yeah, and so that was just a beautiful scene. The backdrop was really pretty. And then they're just, I don't even remember what they said, but I just remember that scene just.
I was just talking about the backstory between the two.
Right.
Yeah, about Jubas and his family and wanting to go see them and be with them. And he was just saying, that won't ever happen.
Right.
The only time I'll ever see my family is when I'm dead.
Right. So, I mean, I just, that whole scene was.
Yeah, I feel like
their close, intimate moments and their conversations. And it just that's what makes such a great movie is because you can have both.
Right.
And that's what makes it good.
Well, it's an up and down thing,
Right.
It's not just battle. It's,
right.
It's the up and down, and that's what it's like it's a roller coaster, it's a ride. You're on this ride and you're giving, as soon as you buckled in, it's like battle and, craziness. And then it's like a lot of soft and then
good
battle.
Moments.
And then.
But you see a lot of like action movies. I mean, it's just like action the whole time.
Yeah, and it's exhausting.
No slow moments, especially like war movies, if they're like that way. I mean, and a lot of death and blood and things like that. If that could be a little overwhelming in movies like that and harder for a lot of audience. But I think that's why this movie was a lot well received, because you did have those other moments in that. There's, like you said, slower, more intimate moments, and then the big action for everything. And you didn't have any love scenes, or you have no romance in this movie.
Well, I mean, there was the big romance between Maximus and what was it? Is it Lucia? Is that right?
I gotta read it.
This is it's spelled Lucilla, but
Lucilla.
I'm pretty sure it's Lucia.
I think it was Lucilla.
Lucilla?
I think so.
Maybe, I don't know.
Lucilla.
It's not Spanish, obviously.
Right.
It's Lucia. So we'll say Lucilla. But yeah, I mean, you have that romance between Maximus and Lucilla, and you obviously can see they have some history there from when they were younger. And I'm assuming they were, once together or once an item.
Well, they once probably tried and broke it. They broke each other's heart. I think they alluded to that in the beginning. But I'm so glad they didn't do that in this movie.
It was more of like
because it would cheapen the revenge for his family if they had another romantic relationship in that. If Maximus had another relationship, and I remember reading something. And this film did not have a complete script when it was started filming, which is very frustrating to Russell Crowe, and which is really hilarious because it got nominated for best writing in a screenplay or whatever it was. And originally they had not written him to die. And as the movie was progressing, as they were filming the movie, Ridley Scott went to Russell Crowe and they were like, they both were in agreement that this movie is trending for him to die, because because I think Ridley Scott says, what is he going to do after this? Is he going to go have a pizzeria in Rome or something? What is he going to do after that?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he wasn't going to become emperor. He had no family to go back to.
Right. And then it was
going to go with his friend and go off with his family.
Exactly. But it was a nice moment at the end. You saw them, in their afterlife, seeing each other and being together then, because they kept talking about that during the movie. So that was a good choice.
I know. I love the flash forward scenes of him walking through the fields. You kept thinking, what is he doing? What is that?
They had several moments of him walking through the field like that. Right.
And a lot of it was his near death moments. I feel like either that or just him really focused in with his family, or when he was praying for his family or talking to his family, that kind of field moment came through. But what I was going to bring up with Lucilla, you kind of went off on a tangent there. Sorry. But whenever I feel like she kind of started his fire back up again, because he was so angry at Commodus for what he did to his family. And I'm sure there's some kind of famous quote out there. I can't think of it right now, but they always say focused anger is never a good thing. So like if you focus your anger towards something, you can succeed in anything, something, I'm sure something like that. I don't know. But that's just how I look at it is, if your anger is not focused on something, it's kind of chaos, and so she saw, that the crowd was loving him and she saw a potential to get out of Commodus being the emperor. Because obviously, it wasn't for selfish reasons, obviously, but it was, she saw him as this beacon of light that could help solve, all of Rome. And so she has a really great quote. Like, this was my favorite quote of all times. This whole movie, it was, and it just kind of encompasses this whole movie was, today I saw a slave become more powerful than the emperor of Rome.
Today I saw a slave become more powerful than the emperor of Rome.
And I'm just like, wow, like that was so powerful. I'm like, that was so great. I mean, that not only in that movie, but just like in life, it's like, and it's just so deep to me. Like, it just gives me goosebumps whenever I think about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that line too. That was a good one.
And I don't think he even absorbed it whenever he heard it the first time either, because he was, again, so angry at her. He felt betrayed. And, because I believe that was the first time she visited him in jail was when she was saying that. Because, again, she saw that opportunity, when they were yelling his name, Maximus, Maximus. Yeah. Or even before that was Spaniard, And so, which, he ended up winning over the crowd, which is what Proximus was wanting him to do, was win over the crowd. And he's like, I'm going to win over the crowd.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite quotes was Proximo. He goes, when he talks about, because he used to be a gladiator, and what he did to earn his freedom and stuff. And he goes, I was not the best because I killed quickly. I was the best because the crowd loved me. Win the crowd and you will win your freedom. That was a cool phrase in that. Did you have any other ones? I got one more. I got one more about the quotes. The interaction between Commodus and Maximus at the end, getting ready for the fight, and the delivery and between the two of them was so spot on. It was Commodus, he goes, the general who becomes a slave, the slave who becomes a gladiator, the gladiator who defied an emperor. Striking story, but now the people want to know how the story ends. Only a famous death will do. And what could be more glorious than to challenge the emperor himself in the great arena? And then Maximus says, you would fight me? Commodus says, why not? Do you think I am afraid? And then Maximus with this line, it says, I think you've been afraid your whole life. And I was like, oh yeah. And then,
do you think I'm afraid?
I think you've been afraid all your life.
Of course, he stabs him, and
such a cheater.
Yeah.
Which I think was so funny that in that line was that, he said the perfect ending would be a famous death. Well, he was right. It was his own.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Maximus ended up dying as well, but not from, well, I guess it was from Commodus's hand because he cheated. But yeah, it was a famous death. The emperor died. Yeah. So, I mean, he kind of foreshadowed that.
Well, like the whole point, like what he said in the beginning, he wanted to, I forgot what all the moments he said, but he said at the end, he wanted to give the crowd something they'd never seen before.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I will win the crowd. I will give them something they've never seen before.
So then I think we went over a couple of the facts and stuff. What I thought was interesting was they built a 1/3 scale replica of the Colosseum for the movie in Malta, where one of the locations.
Yeah, because they definitely couldn't use the
Malta.
original.
Yeah, Malta was
kind of in pieces.
Yeah, you couldn't use someone CGI a bunch of that. Fix that
I guess
up.
you could. I mean, I'm sure people have.
So Malta is where they did all their their Roman.
How's it spelled?
Malta.
How's it spelled?
Malta.
Malta. Okay.
Yeah, it's an island off of Italy.
But I thought you were trying to say Maldives.
No, it's Malta. This is an island. Yeah, but they did all their Roman scenes in Malta, and they built the Colosseum there. It was 52 feet high. It took 7 months to build and cost over $1 million.
Holy mackerel! Yeah, it looked good. It looked legit.
The movie took a real toll on Russell Crowe, as you could imagine.
Yeah.
This
Physically, I'm sure.
And I read this is over the course of the action scenes, he lost all feeling in his right forearm for 2 years afterwards.
What?
My gosh. He also aggravated his Achilles, broke his foot, cracked his rib, and popped some bicep tendons out on tendons out of their sockets.
Wow, he was a young guy then. Like, that's crazy.
That's insane. They're very committed to these scenes.
Yeah, that's a commitment. Yeah, for
and
sure.
even if they're like movie magic, you still have to put a lot into it to really sell it. And these fight scenes, that had been rough for him. The Tigers. We didn't ever talk about the Tigers.
No, we didn't. Well, I feel like all the Coliseum fights kind of blended together.
Yeah,
but yeah, no,
they try to make them all unique and stuff. And the Tiger one was funny because that tigers were actually real. And
yeah, they looked real.
They were actually real. They were not computer generated, but they had a rule that they were not supposed to be within 15 feet of Crowe during the battle scene. One accidentally got within 2 feet of him and made a swipe at him.
Yeah, it's in the film.
And you can see it in the movie.
Yeah. Oh my
actually.
gosh, that's crazy. I mean, good camera work for whoever caught that. I'm assuming his reaction was real.
Yeah, right.
He's probably like, "Whoa, baby."
There's some miscalculations there on the how far away and all.
That's crazy.
The thumbs up and down, and then you made comments of that. When you did the thumbs up to kill.
I thought that was very cheesy. I don't know if that's
that's actually in real life. But
really?
In reality, the thumbs up and down are backwards. Up means death, and down means
not
live.
Death. Yeah,
and
yeah.
the thumb down means to sheath the sword. So it was actually backwards.
Okay.
But it says thumbs up was to live.
In this movie, yeah.
Yeah, and it just makes more sense because thumbs up means good for us, and down
Well, no,
is
it kind
bad.
of depends on though, because if you're asking, should we kill him or not kill him? Thumbs up means kill him. You know, it's all depending on the question you're asking.
Yeah, that's true. In real life, Marcus Aurelius dies from the plague.
Oh wow!
The real communists fought in the arenas. The guards would prepare the gladiators by stabbing them in the back before they fought. So just like he stabbed Maximus, the real communists would, which I don't think apparently he didn't know that the guards were preparing the people, but the gladiators, but Commodus was not killed in the arena, the real Commodus. He was strangled in the bath by an athlete named Narcissus.
Yeah, Narcissus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
And also, did you know they were making a Gladiator 2 coming out next year?
I did know that. Yeah, I only knew that because I looked up some Gladiator.
Yeah,
stuff.
when you start typing in Gladiator, you're like Gladiator 2. So
yeah, because it showed like side by sides of Russell Crowe and whoever this other guy was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think they were following Lucius. What was that kid's name? Lucius.
Lucius.
Yeah, they're following him apparently.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. I looked at him.
I don't think
too.
it's
He's
the
been in
same
a lot.
actor.
No.
I don't think it's the same actor.
Well, that's a bummer.
But I didn't really dive too deep into it and what they're. I didn't really what the
probably
synopsis.
not old enough. Because like I'm
was.
assuming they're probably looking for somebody a lot older, like Russell Crowe's age. This guy's like 20 something.
I mean, could you imagine somebody else playing that role?
Who? Russell Crowe?
Yeah, Maximus in that. Even Commodus. I mean, like they look like they should. Like a Roman,
be in that era.
Yeah, and then I couldn't imagine somebody else. I did see they were looking at a couple of those for the role. They were looking at Mel Gibson, Hugh Jackman, and
which I said Mel Gibson. I said, "Is this the one Mel Gibson's in?"
And he turned it down because he felt like he was too old. And
yeah, well,
he
he probably would have died.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. I mean, he could probably get away with
Yeah.
it, but and Antonio Banderas.
He's a true Spaniard.
Yeah, and then Joaquin Phoenix, he was the choice from the very beginning, but they were considering Jude Law if that didn't work out with Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay.
So, little tidbits there. That was really
ready
good.
for the ratings?
So I'm ready for the His and Her rating. I'm trying to prepare myself. I'm so the His and Her rating. So
I think I'll surprise you.
So this one, go ahead. Tell me what your rating
So
is.
did we decide we're doing half ratings? Didn't you do a half rating?
We can do half ratings. Sure.
Didn't you
Why
last
not?
time or no?
No, I didn't. I almost did. I kept Clueless at a 2.
Well, I think we can do a half rating.
Yeah, we can do a half rating. Go ahead.
Okay.
Be our first half rating.
Okay. First half rating. Like I said, I think I'm going to surprise you.
Okay.
4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
Wow.
Yes, and
Like, I know you enjoyed the movie, but there were moments that I was worried that you were not going to enjoy.
well, we talked about rewatchability.
Uh-huh.
So my rewatchability, I kind of always have it on. I don't know why this movie is not anything like Mrs. Doubtfire, but that's my
Is that-
rewatchability scale.
We should find another one. Every
I don't know why, because it's been on TV a lot lately.
It has
okay?
been a lot, and you've been
So-
able to sit down and watch it and not have to worry about it.
Right, so rewatchability.
I understand.
So, Mrs. Doubtfire, that's a 5. 5-star, because I'll rewatch it many, many times. Liar, liar.
I don't feel the same way, but go ahead. Liar, liar, yes.
This is my rating.
I'm just saying, so people aren't judging me on the same scales.
So that's why. So I feel like 1 star is my rewatchability, and then the rest of them are how I liked it.
Okay.
So yes, I really liked this movie. Russell Crowe killed it. He completely carried the film. Of course, there were some other standout actors and other people, but just the whole message of the film was very inspiring. And I gave that 1/2 star just because I would, if it was on TV, I would sit down and rewatch it, but I would probably never just turn it on myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's why I gave it a 1/2 star, not a full star. But no, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yes, it was really bloody, but I guess you kind of got used to it. You kind of got numb to it.
I think you were expecting that, but the story was so compelling.
I really wasn't. I didn't know anything about. I really didn't know anything about Gladiator. Literally nothing. I mean,
I'm just saying the story itself.
Yes.
The
Yeah,
revenge part of the story. I mean, that's the whole thing, and you're just rooting for him the whole time. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
this guy. You're like ready to watch and see
yeah.
how he gets back because you were so involved in this, and
it ended very well.
and it's not about the fight scenes and stuff. And that was just like really, really great job at it. It was really cool, and but the story itself was great.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can't deny a good revenge story.
No,
you know?
no.
It kind of reminded me. I mean, it's really not similar, but just like the revenge story and the likability of the movie, it reminded me, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but what's that movie about the magicians? I mean, we love that movie too.
Prestige
Is that what it is? The Prestige?
with Hugh Jackman.
Maybe.
Is it Hugh Jackman and
I think it is.
Christian Bale?
Yes, I think
Okay,
it is.
it's Prestige.
Prestige, which is a great film. It's another good revenge movie.
We should watch that one.
We've seen it many times, and we both love it.
That's not the point. We can watch
I
movies we
know,
both love.
I know, but no, and I think it just kind of has that same thing. You're rooting for them all the whole time, and it ended well, because you always have that dread of like, oh my God, it's going to end terrible. He's going to end up living and killing Maximus, and
Well, it's like you said, like the ending was great because he got his revenge, but you didn't mind him dying.
No, you really didn't. Like, you were sad, but he got his happy ending, which was
Yeah.
to go be with his family, And I liked that they showed that too, because they didn't have to, You could just assume that he went to go be with his family. And I really loved they tied up all the ends, They tied up all the loose ends. The senator came out and was like, okay, time to do my job.
And before he died, he set all the slaves free.
Yep.
And his buddy was like, he at the end, like you said, like we talked about, he gave him his honor, and then he says, "I will see you, again, but not right now." At the end of that, remember
What?
his buddy when he does that, he said, "I will see you again, but not yet."
Oh.
But not yet. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that. No, I remember when he was burying the figurines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you missed that part.
Yeah, when he was burying the figurines.
Did you say that? Maybe I blacked out.
I think so.
I'm sorry.
I thought I did. But yeah,
I thought you were talking about when he was talking to Maximus. I was like,
no, I
I
was saying
think
at
he
the
talked to
end
Maximus.
when, like, you're talking about
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
being wrapped up.
Yeah.
At the end, and his buddy is there. He got, like I said, he got freedom, and he gives him his honor, and
He gets to go be with his family now. And you could just tell he was so happy to just.
yeah, he's like,
go be
he
with
said,
his family,
he said, I'm going to go. Like I said, I'll see you again, but not yet, because he still gets to do what they had talked about, and that was just a beautiful moment, and it ended really well for such a movie that the way it was, such an epic movie like that. It ended well, and
Now we are free. I will see you again. But not yet. Not yet.
Like you said, sometimes you don't get that, and
Yeah.
you get some kind of weird twist and
Pisses
weird.
me off. Which is another. I won't rewatch it.
Right.
Like it didn't end well, so I don't need to rewatch it again.
There was a hard moment, and I was worried about it because I know there were some tough moments in that movie to watch.
Which I'm okay with. I mean, I don't. Movies don't have to be always rainbows and sunshine. No, but
Right.
if it has a good plot line and good writing, and that's the other thing. I think the dialogue in this movie was just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course they're in Roman times and they got to talk all fancy and Roman like, but it wasn't like over your head how it could be.
Right.
And the dialogue and the quotability of the movie was phenomenal.
Yeah, there were some good moments that you could just inspiring and different things. So
Yeah, just
For
put
sure.
all the quotes up on your bedroom wall and inspire you every day. I don't pretend to be the man of the people. I'm a man for the people.
just not the ones about going to your death being okay. Let's don't put
No,
that one on the wall.
no.
Strength and honor.
That's right. Or strength in numbers.
Strength and numbers. I mean, it makes sense. Like,
You did!
Because that was like shock and awe is what they were trying to get them. They were just like overwhelmed the armies. Anyways, let's keep going. We'll keep jumping around back into this movie. We got to wrap it up eventually.
Does that
Hopefully-
surprise you?
I'm surprised with the 4.5. I'm giving you some good ones. I think some enjoyables, and like you said, like I think this is definitely a 5. These big epic movies like this, like I said, they're kind of tough to watch. They're tough to rewatch too quickly,
Yeah.
too often.
But you don't really need to. It sticks with you for a while. Like, I mean, we watched, half of this movie 2 nights ago, the rest of it last night. And it's great for me even because I can remember what I watched, 2 nights ago.
It is very impactful.
Yeah.
And that just makes a good movie.
Yeah.
So, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we watched it. That was.
I am too, yeah.
I'm glad I thought about it and had a chance to. We probably wouldn't have watched it if we weren't doing this podcast. I don't
Probably
think we wouldn't be
not,
like,
no.
let's watch Gladiator. Let's just turn
Yeah.
on some dumb show again.
Yeah. Reruns.
The Office on
Yeah.
whatever.
So that put a lot of pressure on me because I was really, I really wanted to pick a movie that you like. I'm just going to preface it with that.
Yeah. So it's time for the movies to watch next time.
Yes. So I know I have a majority on my list that I don't think you'll like. And
Oh.
I just think I think a lot of it has to do with and not in a selfish way. It's just my personality is that I do enjoy a wider range of genre. So yes, I am a girl. I love girly movies. I love romance. I love comedies. I love thrillers. I love dramas. I love all of them. So majority of the movies that we watch together are similar to Gladiator.
Well, like
they have a lot of action.
They're action movies or comedies. I think we
Yeah.
watch most of action or comedy together.
But they're a majority of what you like.
Yeah.
But they also, I do
You
too.
like 'em.
I do too.
I know comedies is a very common ground for us.
Yes.
Or comedies.
But I like
different
thrillers
types of
too.
comedies.
I mean, because we both don't like scary movies, so that's off the table.
Suspenseful.
Yeah.
Not really thrill. Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Depends. I'm very picky on the suspense and thrillers.
I know you are.
I'm very picky.
I watch those alone whenever he's not around, which also I kind of regret. But the curiosity in me always kills me.
Yeah. And then you
But
re-
anyways, so I was like, golly, after the 2 on Clueless, I was like, I gotta find a movie that I think you would like. And I don't know if you'll like it or not because I'm really going out of left field on this one. But I figured.
I know, and I'll just say that you have not told me at all. So
I know.
I'm really.
You didn't tell me about Gladiator, so I had no
I thought
idea
I
about
did,
Gladiator.
and maybe I didn't. But I'm glad because I asked you yesterday. I said, "What movie we're going to watch?" And you didn't want to tell me. So
And I don't know if you've seen my list either. Okay, good, because I haven't seen yours. I like being surprised.
Yeah. Okay. I like this. I like this format.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead. What movie are we watching? I'm excited.
So I am sticking around the same year.
Okay.
All right. So because I feel
Ooh,
like
let
that's.
me see. Let me guess.
No, you can't guess
Let me
because I
guess.
know
Hold
you
on.
always
I
guess.
got the blockbuster. I got the movies out.
No,
Let's see.
Caleb, no.
You guess.
No, we're not doing that. I'm
Aaron
not going
Brockovich.
to announce it. No.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm not doing another Julia Roberts.
We're not
movie.
watching Miss Congeniality, are we?
No, we've seen that movie a lot. No, okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think you'll ever guess it. But again, it's 2001 movie.
2001. Oh, I was looking at 2000.
Oh yeah, 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, there was one in 2000 that I thought about, but I don't think you'll like it. So there's two that are in 2000 that are really good, but I don't think you like them. And I don't know if you like this movie either, but I'm really hoping you do because I really like it.
Okay, go. What is it? What is it?
Suspense killing you?
Yes, it is.
All
and
right.
the audience.
So I know.
It's like a 15-minute.
Well, I'll just make you all wait till next week then, or till next time.
No, go. What is it?
Okay, so I picked Moulin Rouge.
Oh, okay.
Moulin Rouge. So Moulin
It
Rouge
was
is
not the first musical I thought you would have picked.
No, I know, because I know.
I was hoping it would be Les Miserables.
Well, we've seen it so many times.
I know.
I do
and
love
it's
that
only
movie.
2012.
But Moulin Rouge is up there. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. Like, and you've never seen it, right? Or you don't know?
No, I know I've seen scenes, and I've seen like maybe like a musical number or two. I know it's got like Catherine Zeta-Jones. Who else is in
Nicole
that?
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of big names
I
in
can't
it.
remember the main guy's name, but again, we'll have all that information later. But and again, we'll go into this later on the next episode, but I have a strange, I don't know about strange, but I have a very big attachment to this movie. And I'll go into reasons why I have attachment to this movie. But yeah, that's what we're going to watch. We're going to watch Moulin Rouge. I don't know, where can you watch it? I know we saw it. Went on Netflix or no?
No, you might have to rent this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like you have to rent it. Ewan McGregor is who you're thinking about.
Yes.
So, I don't think this has I don't think this is out on any streaming service.
I know it used to be because I watched it a couple years ago.
Free movie, I don't know. Yeah, it looks like you have to rent it.
On Amazon.
So, but we'll find out and we'll put it in the notes if we find a free way to watch it. So we'll put it in the show notes for when it comes out.
Yeah, but if you want to watch it beforehand, you can rent it on Amazon Prime. It's usually like $2 or $3.
Right.
But yeah,
I'm looking forward to it.
Are you?
That's a good choice.
I'm so.
I was
scared
also
you're
looking
not
forward to
gonna
Clueless.
like it.
I was looking forward to Clueless.
Yeah,
too.
well, you gave it a 2. So.
But I did. But like I said, I'm glad we watched it. I am looking forward to watching Moulin Rouge, even if I don't like it or whatever. I do like musicals. There are some musicals that I really do like.
Okay.
I like Les Mis. I've liked what's the one that Jet loves?
Oh, Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman. That's
Yeah.
great.
It's up there with those. So yeah, I mean, the music is fantastic. Like, I think you'll love the music. It's been a while since I've watched it. I don't think I've watched it in my 30s, so it will be interesting. Like, I know that there's a storyline, and it's kind of. Oops, sorry.
Oh, it has a storyline?
Yes,
A movie with a storyline. I'm in. I'm sold.
But it's kind of complicated and kind of racy as well.
Yeah.
But
That's what I remember about it, being kind of risque at times.
yes,
Okay.
yes. But no, it's some phenomenal
but done
standout.
well.
Yeah, standout scenes in that one. But yeah.
Very good. Good job. Good choice. You were nervous. I think it's going to work out great for you.
Oh. see, you make me not want to rate your movie so high. But I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah.
I'm being honest.
I'll be nice. I mean,
No,
I'll
I
be
want you to
truthful.
be
I'll be
honest.
honest.
I'm not gonna ever be able to live that 2 down. I get it though. I get Clueless is not for everyone, which is why, because I was gonna pick Grease, because I know you're waiting for Grease to come
I'll
up.
go ahead and tell you that one.
Stop it! You have a mob on your hands if you talk bad about Grease and Dirty Dancing. That's all I gotta say, because those are the two that you've never
All right,
seen.
well, let's wait till you get a couple good ones under your belt. Before
Well,
we
that's
start
why,
throwing
because
those
I
in.
knew how I felt about this movie, and I rated it so high, and I was like, I gotta give him something I think he would like, and I think this is the only one on my list.
No.
I think so.
Well,
No, there's a couple on there that are curveballs I don't think you would have expected me to pick. So
Okay. Well, good job. All
Yeah,
right.
thanks.
Well, thanks for listening. This is going to be a pretty long one.
This was a long outro. I'm
It's-
sorry about
yeah,
that.
sorry. I had to cut some of that.
I kept that going forever.
Hopefully I can cut some
I
of
kind
that
of
down.
enjoyed it a little bit.
But thanks for listening. Hope you made it to the end of this. Write a review.
We'll read it
and
on the podcast.
We'll read it on the podcast.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?